Hello, it's Uncommon Fossil. Today I want to talk about a Pokemon that I've really enjoyed playing in the past, and that's Blissey V. It actually was a starter deck from the season before this, so you probably already have a 4-4 set of this as long as you're playing live before Paldea Evolved. Before Scarlet and Violet came out. Which makes it a very affordable deck to put together. The deck was surprisingly good, I thought. It lost some key pieces with rotation, but now with Paldea Evolved, things have picked up for the deck, so I want to give it a test. So play 4 Blissey V, a basic V Pokemon, 250 HP, so it's a relatively tanky V, and that's very important to the deck. We need to tank and survive some hits. It's got a natural cure ability. Whenever you attach an energy to it from hand, it recovers from all special conditions. That's not generally too relevant in most games, but it's nice to have. Then it's got one attack, Blissful Blast. It does 10 damage plus 30 more for each energy attached to this Pokemon. And then as long as your attack does damage with it, then you may attach up to 3 energy cards from the discard pile to this Pokemon. So very nice for getting set up and building over time. But again, we need to survive some hits, so hopefully it does that. Now, it used to play Miltank, which was immune to Vs, but now with EXs in the game, that's not quite good enough. But now with Paldea Evolved, we have Mimikyu that solves that problem. Safeguard ability prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's EX and V Pokemon. Obviously, those single prize Pokemon are problematic, so you want to know the matchup, whether this is a good play or not. The attack is okay at best, maybe even less than okay, but Ghost Die for 2 energy, 1 being Psychic. You put 7 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. As I said, it's okay. Doesn't do a ton of damage, and now it does take a Psychic Energy, so we're having to play some basic Psychic Energy in the deck. With Miltank, it was a colorless attacker, so we could play all special energy. So that's a bit of a downside to the deck, but still well worth trying out the Miltank. And it Dunsparce to remove weakness for colorless Pokemon, important in the deck for sure, because we need to be tanky. 1 Radiant Greninja, that's a partner you always want in a deck like this. It's the only engine piece you have. You discard an energy, draw 2 cards, and we want to get energies in the discard to accelerate to Blissey, so very good. And now what I'm including, which I didn't include in the past with the Blissey V, is Wyrdeer V, 220 HP, which is pretty standard for a V. It's got the Psy Shield Bolt Bash attack for 3 energy, does 40 damage per energy attached to this Pokemon, so you get a bunch of energy attached. It does a bunch of damage, and the multiplier is higher than Blissey's damage, so it can do bigger damage. And to help set it up quickly, it has Frontier Road ability. When this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot, you may move any amount of energy from your other Pokemon to it, so we can make that switch with a Jet Energy or a Switch Cart. So I haven't been finding that I've been playing it much in pulling off this move in games, but I think it's a nice option because you can swing and do big damage, and if your Blissey V's damage, you can get it out of play with Cheren's Care. So I like it as an option. I'm going to go over the energies next. 3 basic Psychic Energies because we need that for Mimikyu. The other energies, 3 Lucky Energies. You draw a card when your turn if this Pokemon's been damaged, 1 card per Lucky Energy attached. 2 Jet Energy allows that switching option if you attach it from hand to the bench, so it is nice to switch your Pokemon without, it gives another option for that. 1 Therapeutic Energy just recovers some special conditions. Probably might not be necessary, but having 1 as an option is useful. Double Turbo Energy, this adds 2 energy, so it slightly buffs the damage, only by 10 at the end though, because then it reduces the damage by 10. So you add 30 by having a second energy, but then you subtract 20, so it only gets you a 10 damage buff, but still 10 is better than nothing. And then 2 V-Guard Energy. Pokemon takes 30 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon V. It doesn't stack, so you only need to get 1 attached to a Blissey to make it that little bit tankier. A very useful card to have in the deck. So looking at the trainers, some are similar to what I was playing before. Some have been tweaked some as we go through it. So 2 Trekking Shoes. I might even like more in the deck if I find the space for it. A full set of 4 would be useful. right? You look at the top card, put it in hand, or you could just discard it. So, and then draw another card so you can get energies in the discard and help dig through the deck a little faster. 4 Switch Carts. I don't play Rope, don't play Basic Switch. They're only basic Pokemon, so Switch Cart's better than Switch. You heal 30 when it goes to the bench. Rope could be an option, but I decided to just go with the 4 Switch Carts to help with the tankiness. 1 Pal Pad to get back up to 2 supporters. A Raihan, which the deck couldn't play before because it didn't play Basic Energy, but now with the Basic Psychic, I can play Raihan. If a Pokemon's knocked out last turn, you can attach a Basic Energy card from the discard pile to one of your Pokemon, search your deck, and put any one card in your hand. So it's a way to power up, in particular, that Mimikyu in one turn, because you need 2 energy attached to it. 1 Psychic, and then you can get the other energy from the deck, a jet energy or something if you need to swing in even. 4 Research we need to set up, and obviously discarding energies is good. 4 Bravery Charm, this replaces Cape of Toughness that we lost. Does the same thing. The basic Pokemon this card's attached to get plus 50 HP, so a very good card, something to keep in mind for several decks. 2 Ultra Ball, perhaps I should increase this. Before the deck played 2 Quick Balls, but you don't really want to replace it with Nest Balls because you do want to be able to discard some energy, so I think Ultra Ball is a better option. Again, perhaps some more Ultra Ball to get some more discard could be useful, not sure. 4 Path to the Peak, which is good. Now, I can't bump Path, so I can't use Wyrdeer V's ability, so I have to be careful of that, but my opponents will often be bumping Path because a lot of decks really need it, and so it's really useful in slowing down your opponents. 3 Ionos, right, just to shuffle. Each opponent shuffles a hand, puts it on the bottom of the deck, draws based on the number of cards in hand. So useful. The deck played Marnie before, as you'd expect, so I think this is the natural replacement for that. 4 Fighting Au Lait. This is a new Paldea Evolved card. Also gives a healing option. I think this is the card I want to play for healing in the deck. There's other ones. You have to be behind on prizes to use it, so that's a negative. But if you do, you'd heal 60 damage from one of your Pokemon, a very solid number. You don't have to discard anything. You just have to be behind on prizes. So the way I look at it is if I'm behind on prizes, it's great. It works. If I'm not behind on prizes, I can't use this, but the game's probably going okay for me, so I'm okay not healing for that turn. At least hopefully that's the way it works, right? 1 Super Rod to put back some basic energy or Pokemon into the deck. I think that has some value in this deck. Sometimes I need to get Psychic Energy back to be able to power up a Mimikyu. That's part of what I wanted here. If I need the Wyrdeer V, and I had to discard it early with a Research, I want to be able to recover it late game for the big hit. 2 Cheren's Care. Put one of your colorless Pokemon with any damage counters and all cards attached to it into your hand. So that's quite nice. Get that Blissey V out of play with damage. That, the fact that the Mimikyu Psychic means you can't use it with that like you could with the Miltank. But again, they're low HP Pokemon. It may be getting knocked out, but it would obviously that is a downside. The fact that the Mimikyu is Psychic. 2 Zinnia's Resolve. I think a support that really makes sense in a deck like this. You discard 2 cards from hand, so you get to choose the 2. Often they'll be energies. You want to get those discarded, and you draw a card for each opponent's Pokemon in play. A lot of decks like to get a lot of Pokemon in play. Then 2 Boss just to kind of control what we're hitting into. So that is the deck, and let's take a look at how it performs. Like I said, I've enjoyed Blissey V in the past. It really fell off with rotation. Perhaps it can become viable again. All right, so we'll see what happens with this game here. I am fine going second because I can attack and set up, and in some ways going second may be better. Keeping my opponent from going first at times is a good thing, though, right? Because most people want to go first so they can get evolving. Yep, so they're going first, but it could work to my advantage. We'll see what happens. See what I'm up against, for one thing. All right, so starting a Blissey V, Bravery Charm, Lucky Energy, a very solid set of cards. Okay, getting a mulligan. All right, up against Mew. Fusion Strike Mew. I mean Meloetta Mew, right? So we'll see what happens. They probably can't one-shot my Blissey this next turn, though, Probably. I certainly don't guarantee it. I probably want to discard both these energies with Ultra Ball, attach Bravery Charm to my active Blissey V. Path to the Peak will be useful. You know, Path does stop the Wyrdeer V from working, so perhaps I don't know. Perhaps it's too much of a problem. I could play a Lost Vacuum to get rid of the Stadium, but I don't know. Perhaps with the Wyrdeer, it's just better not being in the deck. I don't know. You don't want to put the Wyrdeer in play unless you need to. Honestly, unfortunately, I've been finding myself having to start it a bunch of games, and which is a bit odd, right? It shouldn't be happening much, but it was happening a good number of times for me for some reason. All right, so my turn. Let's see what I get with this. Yes, now they do have the one attack that hits through. Okay, you got the second attack will one-shot it. So, but it limits them. So I think I want it. I think I might not want to accelerate any energy to it, but I think I do want him in play. I could try to draw some more with Radiant Greninja. I don't mind that. I don't mind drawing. I probably don't mind. I don't mind discarding some more energies. So get those to accelerate to Blissey V. So that's good. I'll get my third energy in the discard. I need to draw into an energy, and I drew into a bunch of energy. So liking that. And I would have liked to get a Path to the Peak down. That's the one card that I wish I had that I didn't. But there, 50 damage isn't bad. 2 Lucky Energies, which will help me draw next turn. And there's a good chance they don't knock me out, right? If they knock me out, then I'm in trouble. Right now, the Genesects don't draw anything. They need to play down at least a couple cards. Need to be able to play down one more card to draw. They obviously can hit into me, which I don't love. I could Cheren's Care, though. I could do that. And they need to use Max Miracle to hit through, so they either need to get 2 energies on it or have a VMAX on the bench to copy, right? Okay, I like that because that makes it harder to use Max Miracle. They're thinning to draw. So I could, all right. So I could Cheren's Care and send up the Mimikyu. That might be the play, and just attach to Blissey. Just attach. Right, it does 130 with Max Miracle. So, oh, okay. Oh, it's an Oracos Trickies, right? He puts 5 damage counters there. Now, if they put the 5 damage counters onto Mimikyu, okay, they didn't do that. Okay, so Bravery Charm on Mimikyu might be useful also. All right, so do I want to Cheren's Care? I think I might Cheren's Care, right? Mimikyu, Blissey, Bravery Charm, Bravery Charm. I think I just I think I want to discard an energy. I'm not sure what I want to get rid of, though. Get rid of a Lucky because I have 2 of them. All right, that's not bad. Not really what I wanted. And I will just end turn. I mean, I could do a little bit of damage with Blissey V, another 50, and I'd accelerate 1. But I think I think that's the play I wanted to make. Having some more Ultra Balls in a hand like this would be good because I could get some more energy in the discard, right? So I think my Mimikyu is... They can put 5 damage counters on it, but that's going to take, right? It places 5 on it. So that's not bad. Okay, so they didn't attack. I like that. So I think I just want to be powering this guy up at this point, right? Just power him up. And I could switch cart, but I think I want to get at least another turn of powering up first, right? Because they're going to start hitting me pretty hard. No, I'll switch cart. I'm going to hit into them. That might be a mistake. I'm not sure. They don't have a great set of cards, right? So I don't... I could Iono. They're going to draw. No, they're not going to draw, so don't Iono, right? At this point, they need to bump Path. I don't want them doing that, so there we go. So a little bit of damage. Not a lot, though. 60 damage. Oricorio reduces by 20, so Oricorio slows things down. So they're going to get another VMAX onto the bench, I assume. And that means they can hit through on Mimikyu, but they will have to two-shot him because of the DTE. So that's not terrible once again. For attachment, I could attach Double Turbo or Lucky. Lucky draws me an extra card, of course. Double Turbo does a little more damage, right? Temple of Sinnoh I don't want to see, but they don't want to play Temple. They don't necessarily like to see it either. So are they going to... All right, so they can take him out. So that's okay. I mean, he's my only engine card. I could rod him back, though, which might not be terrible. Might not be terrible at all. So I'm doing 90. I'm not doing as much damage as I would like for sure. I don't want to... well, actually, maybe I want to research. Do I want to research? Maybe I do research, and I will... Yeah, I'll research. I don't necessarily love it here. What did I lose? I lost... All right, I'll put Radiant Greninja back in the deck, because he is a nice card to have. And I'm going to research, because therefore I can get big damage next turn with Blissey. Okay, not bad. I'll just sit on this Mimikyu. I didn't hit an energy to attach, which of course I wanted that too. Didn't happen, but you know. I don't think... Yeah, I was sorry talking to myself. I don't think I have Raihan there. I mean, I don't have a Raihan in hand. I wanted to make sure with my supporters, right? Only one Raihan. Probably don't have it, but I do have a mix of supporters, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't there. So they're bumping Path. Now that does open up the play to a big Wyrdeer V attack also, right? I have to get the pieces for it, though. I have a Switch Cart, right? So I need to draw into Wyrdeer V, and that it can do big damage. Now they could play Path, toss down Path again. That's certainly something they might do. But we'll see what happens. This is a play where Wyrdeer V swing into active, get all the energy onto him, and okay, so there we go. That's okay. They're not going to knock me out, I don't believe. Right? Yeah, they haven't played any Fusion Strike. I mean, any Power Tablets. Right? Yep. Nope. None in the discards. So I assume it's in deck. But, you know, they need to get to 300. Right now they're doing just thinning their hand with the gloves. I mean, it does actually, right, it helps against Mimikyu. With DTE, they would knock it. So with DTE now, they do knock out the Mimikyu. Uh-oh. Oh, that's bad. If they knock out my Blissey, I'm in a lot of trouble. So that's the play I really couldn't afford to have. Let's see what happens. If they still need some help. So 1 power tablet, they're at that does 30, right? If I recall. Yeah, so they're at 220 right now. They need 1 more power tablet. Okay. Okay. That's... I guess they're planning on attacking with Genesect at some point. So they missed the attack. So if I can... What I really want... that stinks. So okay. So I just don't have what I want here, right? So I can Cheren's Care. Problem is I lose all this energy. I'm only doing 190, so I'm not blowing them up. I mean, I can take out the guy on the bench. Do I want to do that? All right, I'll take out the guy on the bench. It's not necessarily a bad play, right? It gets me 3 prizes. I'm halfway there with that. I'll just make that my play. I'm not certain. I'm getting a little more energy onto Blissey V before he attacks. Obviously drawing some cards in hand. We'll see what happens. Obviously, with Iono, I go down a lot. Okay, hit a Path to the Peak, which I certainly would have liked to play last turn. Some more Ultra Ball, some more Pokemon Surge should be good in the deck. I'm just trying to think through what changes I might want to make here. Has advantages. I would have to decide what to cut. I do like the Zinnia's Resolve. It's certainly good in a matchup like this. I didn't use it, but right, I could have Cheren's Cared that Blissey out of danger, but that's okay. Let's see. They still need 2 more knockouts, right? We'll be down to 3 prizes, so... So I think... So on a Radiant Greninja, I may want to get rid of something here, an energy. And then I think I want a Path. I'll ditch the Therapeutic Energy. I want to keep the Jet Energy still. I might want that, right? All right, both of them switch. So toss down. I want to attach an energy, right? There's some base. Okay, I can attach the basic energies fine. Path to the Peak. And Iono. Set that make their life a little more difficult too. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's not terrible. Do I want to toss down the Blissey? Let's see. I played 1 Cheren's Care. I could Pal Pad it back into the deck to increase my odds there too. I think I'll just attack and see what happens. There are plays I could play down that Blissey. So DTE. DTEs do the most damage. I really want to get this guy tanky. And I want the V-Guard energy. The problem is I don't have I don't have the Bravery Charm, right? So they do take 20. I take 20 less. They do have DTE attached, so they may have to switch. I'm not sure what they're doing. Oh, that's right. They couldn't bump the path, so they might just do something to bump the stadium. Also, let's think. So I have what's in the chart. So 1 Bravery Charm in the discard pile. So 2 more in the deck, or possibly in the prizes. I haven't been searching that out as much as I should. So we'll see what they play. Right? They grabbed 1 card. They could bump the stadium because that would draw them 4 more cards, or even 5 if they use the lost. Whatever it's called, right? The one, I'm sure they already played it. One that lost vacuum. They might not have a power. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. So are they at them? They got 2 down. So they may have knockout. I got the Wyrdeer a turn 2 later. I needed the Wyrdeer last turn. Let's see what they do here. But because of what they've done here, they've made things difficult for themselves. Okay. A little bit, right? Let's think. Can they do it? I mean, they let's see. So my turn. So they pass. Well, wow. Okay, so the problem is Wyrdeer doesn't get more energy, right? So that's a problem for him too. So what's his damage output? 170. So I think I want to get the Wyrdeer down in play. So they know if they get rid of Path, they could be in trouble here. 170. I think I want to keep the basic energy in hand. I might want that still, right? Or I could attach it. I'll just sit. I'm trying to decide about that. I mean, I'm going to have a ton of energy after this attack. That's part of the downside to this deck, right? Lucky Therapeutic. Keep the basic energy in the deck. So because I have Raihan. And Raihan's super, super nice to have. So this deck, so Path now has caused my opponent a lot of trouble. This game has taken some time. So they're going to hit into me, but they don't have knockout, right? So what do I do here? So 190. I don't get to use Coffee Au Lait because I'm not trailing, but let's see here. So 260. So I have knockout, right? I do 260. I'll just toss this guy on. I don't need to. And boom. Yep. So 290. Don't need to attack. So there we go. So they hit into me. They could have sent up, obviously, Oricorio and Genesect and not attacked, right? That would have kept them from losing. They made a move that cost them the game. So, you know, but maybe they were at the point where they wanted the game over. So anyway, so the deck can work for sure. We just saw it pull through and do Blissey things, being tanky. We saw the benefit of playing 4 Path to the Peak is very good. You shut off your own abilities, but, you know, the deck can function without it. Up against a deck like Mew, the Genesect, napping out the Genesect is a big problem. If Gardevoir EX can't exploit energies, they have big problems. So Blissey V is a solid choice at this point. I don't think it's a top-tier choice yet. I definitely need to work on the 60. If you have suggestions, please let me know, because I would like to get this deck to be better, a little more stronger, a little more consistent. But I think Blissey V, Mimikyu, at least it's something to keep in mind, and hopefully it'll improve over time. Take care.